Any school that doesn't have an LRAP program is either placing itself at a substantial competitive disadvantage or spending far more money on financial aid than it can afford. I'm Stephen Yandle. For about 20 years, from the 1980s until 2004, I served as Associate Dean at the Yale Law School. One of my proudest contributions to the school during that period of time was being involved with the creation of the Yale COPE program, a loan repayment assistance program.
Well, it was the late 1980s, and we were already at that time beginning to experience what most of higher education is experiencing today. Our students were arriving at law school with a lot of debt from undergraduate school. They were incurring a lot of cost, 3 years of legal education, and then encumbered by all of that when they would graduate and pursue their careers. And what was beginning to happen is that students felt forced to pursue high-paying jobs rather than the jobs they might have preferred. The other thing that was happening is the Yale Law School is a small institution, and our competitors were all very large and had a much bigger tuition base from which they could afford much more generous grants than could we. So we were losing a lot of students whose first choice really was the Yale Law School, but the better financial aid package led them elsewhere. And we wanted to do something dramatic that we could afford.
So we felt that it was time for a new model. We like to describe the way that we were looking at financial aid as a motion picture rather than a snapshot. Traditional financial aid looked at need at the moment of application for financial aid. The post-graduation loan repayment assistance programs looked at financial need across the first years of your professional career when you were repaying your loans. So the beauty of LRAP programs, it is a much more efficient allocation. It accomplishes all the goals of tuition discounting, but at a more efficient allocation of resources, and allows you to actually apply the money based on need once you factor in loan repayment as part of the need.
For people who might assume that, well, only Yale could afford to do something like that on its own, we were able to afford to do it simply because it saved us so much money in grant aid, which is the same kind of economic benefit. We sometimes speak of it as return on investment that our partner colleges are experiencing today for less money, much less than they'd spent on increments in grant aid. They can confer the LRAP benefit and get a better return on initial enrollment decisions and persistence rates and graduation rates as well.
I think law schools were sort of the canary in the coal mine, that they recognized first the problem that was being created by high loan debt and addressed it earlier on. Now that problem is universal.
Over a very long period of time now, LRAP awards or LRAP benefits have been proven to increase and improve enrollment outcomes in an institution's favor, have proven that students who have the benefit will have greater persistence rates through graduation, and once they graduate will be much more satisfied with their collegiate experience and much freer to pursue the job or career they want to pursue after graduation, and then be in a better position to go on to graduate school when they want.